Hello and welcome to the Ventura County Community Homeownership Conference. U.S. Bank is proud to be one of the sponsors of this homeownership event. I am Julie Davis and I work in the mortgage division at U.S. Bank. At U.S. Bank, we are a complete financial service provider and offer financial services for every stage in your life, including taking the next step to homeownership. We offer competitive interest rates and versatile loan options to fit your financial needs. Our goal is to inform you about the next steps to take to determine whether you're ready to purchase a home. Because it is likely the biggest financial decision you will ever make, our loan officers take the time to create a detailed plan specific to your needs. During today's presentation, I will focus on a low down payment program that we call the American Dream, which I think is a great title for it because that's what we're hoping to achieve. That program can make home ownership easily achievable for you. Before we discuss our American Dream loan program, let's review what we should consider before buying a house. I'm sure you are aware of the benefits of owning your own home. The stability of owning our home impacts all areas of our lives, from not having to unexpectedly receive a 30-day notice from our landlord to the security of ensuring our children are in the school districts that we want them to be in, and also to building a community we grow with and become a part of. In addition to the stability and lifestyle benefits of homeownership, I believe the most important benefit is to have an investment that over time will build equity, create a long-term savings, and build wealth. So simply speaking, it is the primary way that most of us, myself included, can create a large savings account for our future. The best place to start to prepare for homeownership is speaking with a loan officer. Why is that? The first step is to review your income and determine what you can afford. Next, we review your credit. Now, most people get a little nervous, but you really shouldn't be. It's the job of the loan officer to guide you to make sure that your credit is ready to purchase a home. Your loan officer will discuss how much money you have saved for a down payment, among a few other things related to your credit. At the end of the consultation, you should have a roadmap that will set you on the path to homeownership. And this is something that's really important to U.S. Bank and personally myself as a loan officer. I want to make sure if you're not ready today, that I prepare you for tomorrow, because you have to have a roadmap to know the things you need to do to prepare for homeownership. So I'm going to reference roadmap a couple of times in this presentation. Just a few more words about credit. It may seem a mystery to some and maybe even to you, but it's the job of your loan officer to work with you to get you where you need to be. During your consultation, your credit history will be analyzed. If you have credit challenges, there are definitive steps to take to improve your credit. And my best advice is not to hide under the covers. I know I have felt that way at times. Now is the time to look at the obstacles, if any, and develop a plan of action. That is the most important piece. So moving on, once we have met with a loan officer and determined how much we can afford, what are my loan options? Traditionally, the typical down payment to purchase a home would be to save 20% for a down payment. This requirement prevented many of us from purchasing a home. With today's home prices, that is a huge amount of money to save. Thank goodness loan programs are available that do not require a 10% down payment. Yay! We also need to plan for the additional costs of buying a home in addition to your down payment. It is important to understand what closing costs are and to have those additional funds available to cover those costs. But don't panic, no one's panicking. There are options to assist with closing costs. That will be an important part of your consultation with your loan officer. They will discuss with you the options available to assist you to cover the expenses, not only the down payment, but the closing costs. Okay, so we have figured out the game plan, right? You have a roadmap to purchase your first home. So you have taken all of the first steps that might have been a little scary to take, but you've done it. So wonderful. The next important task is to look at the loan options that match your needs. Most first-time home buyers usually do not have a large down payment. That is why we developed our loan program called the American Dream. Your loan officer will describe all of the programs available to you that offer a loan down payment. So it might be American Dream, but there are also government loans. You may have heard of the term FHA, that stands for Federal Housing Authority, and those programs start with a 3.5% down payment. Yes, I said 3.5%. So that makes it a lot more attainable. While that is fantastic, there are additional fees such as mortgage insurance required that may be a challenge to the first-time home buyer. We also have down payment assistance programs to help the home buyer with the down payment and the closing costs. Your loan officer will include all this information in the roadmap to homeownership. At US Bank, we are committed to bringing home ownership to as many families as possible. With that goal, we developed a program called American Dream, and the loan program has a down payment as low as 3%. 3%. That doesn't require any additional fees, such as mortgage insurance. That can help the home buyer better afford the mortgage payment. And we also included more flexibility related to your credit score and income qualifications that help home buyers who may not otherwise qualify for traditional financing. So this is really important for you. Most of us who want to purchase a home for the very first time have challenges. They may be credit, maybe my score is a little bit lower, maybe my income, it's a stretch to be able to afford that mortgage payment. That's where these low down payment programs come into play. And it's also why I'm very grateful to actually the federal government for developing these programs so that home ownership can reach way more many people than those that just simply have a large down payment with a lot of income. One of the considerations before buying your home is to compare your rent expenses versus a mortgage payment. Your loan officer can provide details of the difference between the two and whether home ownership would be to your advantage. There are several components that make up your mortgage payment. You know, it's easy with a rent payment. Same amount, write that check out or Venmo it to your landlord and it's done. So you may be wondering, well, what is a mortgage? What's included in a mortgage payment? So what's included in that payment is the interest rate that you will pay for the money that you borrow, the actual principal portion of the payment is paying down that loan balance, right? With the goal of actually owning the home at some point. You also will need to pay property taxes to the county that you purchased the home in. And then there's homeowners insurance. So that's going to protect your home against fire, flood, burglary, actually, and more. So it's necessary to have homeowners insurance. And in some cases, there's also additional fees paid to a homeowners association. And what that is, if I buy a condo, for example, and I'm in a development that offers certain amenities, or even just being in a condo, the association fee is going to cover maintenance of the grounds. It's going to cover protection for the structures, including my condo. So that is in the event that you purchase in a community that is been developed and now requires homeowners association dues. All right. What I wanted to share with you is, and I'm like a visual learner, and so I wanted to show you the 7 steps involved in the entire process. So we're kind of narrowing all of the steps from pre-qualifying for a mortgage to moving into your new house in 7 steps. So step 1, that starts with the consultation that I've been mentioning a lot in this presentation. You meet with your loan officer to determine your qualifications, and if you're ready to apply for a loan, then we move on to step 2, and that is to complete an application and get a pre-approval. What that means is the lender will at this point run your credit, they will collect your income documentation, and they'll review the savings that you have, and a loan decision will be determined by that online application. So once you're pre-approved, we move on to step 3, which is actually the best part. Second to moving into your new house. So now we're ready. We're going to go house hunting. So that's a really fun step in the process. This process may take a matter of days or months. And fortunately, there are online resources for you, making the home search much more easy for you with virtual home tours, listing notifications, and more. But at this step, you will be working with a realtor who will be taking you to see the homes that you would like to see the inside of, and you will begin that journey. And we'll talk just a little bit more in the seminar about the real estate agent. Step 4. Step 4 is where, hang on, the race begins, right? We found the home we want to purchase. Now we need to get the offer accepted. To purchase the home, woohoo. So what we're going to do now at this point in step 4, there'll be a lot of moving parts. So additional documents may be required from you that your loan officer will ask you for. An appraisal of the property to determine the value of the home will be performed. You will have a home inspection, and that's to ensure that the property is in good condition and meets your expectations. And most importantly, you will be planning for your moving day. And now we're moving on to step 5 and 6. This is the completion of all of the final requirements that the lender has asked of you to approve the loan, including preparing the loan documents that you will need to have signed and notarized. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. And at last, long last, step 7 arrives, and it's time to move into your property. You've closed the loan, you've signed all your loan documents, and now you own a property. And it really is a celebratory moment, and it's probably one of the happiest moments that you're ever going to experience in your life. So congratulations, you just bought a home. Now, when it comes to apply for your loan, at US Bank, we have a secure online loan portal that is convenient for you. It's super convenient. You can apply anytime. You can upload all of the required documents that we ask that you provide. And your loan officer, this is so cool, your loan officer can even be online with you, and walk you through each step of the application. So it's kind of like sharing screens, and that is going to help you fill out the loan application if you have questions. And when it comes time to be signing your loan documents, we even have an online option for that. So over the last year and a half, as we've dealt with COVID, we've needed to up our game and provide more digital solutions for our customers so we can minimize your exposure and unnecessary engagement, close contact with people outside your family. So that is one option that we developed, and that is to be able to sign your loan documents, the majority of them, right online. So we do have a few things, additional information to consider. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I did mention realtors just a couple slides ago. There are many experienced, licensed professionals involved during the home buying process. They are the experts. They ensure that your purchase of your home meets all of the requirements set forth by the state, by the local government, and by the federal government. And above and beyond all of that, these individuals are going to ensure that you're protected. So the most important thing when we're making a big purchase, probably the largest purchase in our lives, is that you're protected and the property meets not only your expectations, but that it follows all of the rules and laws in place to protect you. It is always wise to educate yourself prior to home ownership. In fact, some of the loan programs require that you complete a homebuyer education course. Your loan officer will let you know if education is required and where to find the resources for this education. But just by you attending today's conference, you're showing me that you want the education and that you want to understand the process and have an successful outcome. So in addition to homebuyer courses, and many are free, also on usbank.com, we have a section called Financial IQ. And on that site, you can find little video clips or reading material, downloadable information that actually can step you through the whole home buying process in much more detail than I'm able to do today. So usbank.com, Financial IQ, and learn as much as you can about this process. We have covered a lot of information today. Any of us who have purchased a home understand how overwhelming it can feel. Just remember, you will have an entire team of experts by your side, guiding you each and every step of the way. And some words of encouragement. You know, if you're ready to purchase a home today, that is absolutely wonderful. If you're not ready today and there are some obstacles that you may be facing, do find a trusting loan officer who wants to work with you, who wants to help you, and will, you know, throughout the process of getting prepared, can give you the advice you need. I've had many customers that it took 6 months, it took a year before they were finally ready to purchase a home, and they were my customer. I was their consultant. They reached out throughout the whole time until we were finally ready to get pre-qualified for a loan. So don't give up. There is help out there. There are programs that'll match your financial needs. And if not, you will know exactly what you need to do to be ready to purchase a home. And the first step was attending this seminar today and gathering as much information as you possibly can to prepare yourself for home ownership. I want to thank you for attending the Homeownership Conference, and we hope that you will feel better prepared to work towards achieving the goal of owning your home. Thank you so much.